Welcome back to the Cepheid variable. This is your referee, Chris. I've got a kitty chilling next to me as I pet him while I record this, and I'm going to thank some Patreon folks here real quick. We got Taylor, Drowrin, Miles, Randy, Yam, Colby, Thomas, Randy G, Laszlo, Hovo, Hovo, Jeremy, Ben, and Garth. Thank you all for your continued support on Patreon. If you guys haven't, go check out, I'm in a new post this week, revealing the Zander Cross character art from our awesome Meescha. I'll be posting it on our Discord as well here pretty soon, but try to give the folks on Patreon a little bit of head start there. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, check out the show notes. You will find a link there. That's $3 a month. That's all we ask. If you haven't yet, we would really love for you to leave us a review somewhere. That'd be pretty dope as well. So, yeah. Also, I don't know what's happening, but we have had the biggest month in the entire history of this podcast. We are up over 2,200 listens for this month alone, and I just got to say thank you. I'm floored by what's going on here. At one point, we had like 1,000 downloads in the past 7 days on our tracker, which is just phenomenal. Like, I thank you. This is blew me away. It's a wild way to start the month. Just a heads up, next week we're releasing an interview with Cody, formerly from Sleeping Low. He's got a new project coming out, so I sat down, talked with him, got to know him a little bit better, and wanted to help promote his new show coming out because it's going to be rad. He's released a couple teaser episodes so far, and they are really great. So this is kind of the end of this arc, in a sense. So I figured it'd be a good time to take a break. We'll get that interview out, and then we're right back into Traveler next week. And so, yeah, that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll see you in the future. I wanted to pose a question to y'all. I have an idea for playing back, like what happened in the time frame that you guys weren't there. Oh. Do you want to hear it now, or do you want because otherwise I was going to record it as like an intro to the podcast and then kick off after it.
So what time period are you saying? Like,
essentially, my idea here is like we're going to cut back to the Orsellian, and this would be kind of like if we were watching a movie. This would have been the events that happened, or like a TV show. This would have been the events that happened before you guys got there. Okay. And essentially be like Yasmin and Eliza telling you, like, here's the events.
They tell us what happened, and then it fades to that.
Right. So I want to know, do you guys want to hear that now, or do you want to listen to the podcast and hear it? All that kind of jazz.
Oh, have you already recorded it?
I haven't recorded anything yet.
Oh, okay. I guess, like, I would want to... your opinion would matter because, like, should we know that information, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to know it eventually.
My first thing is
and I think
asking the captain what the hell
and
happened.
I think it would answer questions that you guys had.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Perfect. So, I think we begin there. It is, a couple days in the past now. This fills in the gap as the ship's going back, you're getting filled in by the captain, and maybe we're intercutting with the captain talking with Yasmin and Alyssa, Eliza, all the other names that we've given them by now. And you essentially get this scene, and you get this understanding of, we have Yasmin sitting at her desk. We see her kind of phone buzz. She looks down at it. She starts to type in some stuff on her computer. We see that other sensor kind of get overrun, and the sensor kind of shows up saying perfect, fine, all that stuff. And, days going by, she's checking the clock, she's looking at it all, she gets a message that just says, good. And she switches the program over, and she's sitting there, and then maybe 5 or 6 minutes later, sensor goes off. Something gets picked up, and you see she's like, shit, oh fuck. And you see the leader of this department come in. That would be one. Let me get my notes here. That would have been Jagic. Nope. That would have been Lars Callahan. Lars comes walking up to Yasmin, and he's looking over his shoulders like, what was that? Go back there. And she's like, she kind of goes back, and you see the sensors pick up some form of life. He's like, we have to alert the captain right now. Some form of life is down on the planet. We haven't seen anything like this. And Jasmine's like, it might have just been a fluke. It could have been a malfunction with the sensor. The sensor could have been going off. He's like, no, run the diagnostics on the sensor then. And she types in the command. We see it kind of go through. Sensor comes back completely fine. Nothing wrong. He's like, I'm going to go alert the captain right now. This is huge. It's huge. And he's like, kind of like trying to still himself up. We see him leave, and Yasmin's just like, fuck. We see her texting over to Alyssa, and just like, or Eliza, I think they know it's not. It's just, we got something's up. They know. We caught sign. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We just see Eliza just like, calm down. We'll figure this out. We'll talk with the captain. Not gonna be a big deal. We cut over to Eliza, and she's got another phone out, and she's texting this number, just like, you guys got caught. What do you want us to do? And it just comes back, just handle it. It's like, okay. And so we see her kind of like check. She's like, hey, I'm gonna go take my lunch. Why not? Just cover for this for now. She gets up and she goes into her room. She meets up with Yasmin, and they're sitting there. And she's like, okay, what's the point? How are we gonna handle this? And Jasmine's like, I don't know. Like, we gotta be smart here. We gotta be smart. And Eliza looks at her. She's like, okay, how about we get the captain on our side? We convince her. Let's take everyone down there. We'll get everybody knocked out by the time we get there. We can get them sedated, keep them sedated till we figure out from there. We should be fine. That should be, with that, I think that's our best plan. We should be good there. And yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, let me go get, I got some of the new stuff that they made. I think it should work with the way we want. And Eliza's like, perfect. Sounds good. I'll go talk to the captain. You show up. We cut to Yasmin. She's digging through in her room, like pulling up a couple things that are hidden. She pulls out a little bag similar to the ones that you guys found, and she's like, okay, kind of palms it, puts it in her pocket. You see her go into the captain's quarter. Lars is leaving, kind of walking out as Eliza and Yasmin arrive, and he just kind of looks at them both. He's just like, this is huge. We might have found something big. We got to go down and investigate this. We're going to put a team together. And they're just like, yeah, no, makes sense. Totally, yeah, absolutely. And then they leave, and they're just like, Captain, can we have a moment? And we see the door close. And what is explained to you as we see them kind of talking this out, they're trying to convince the captain. We see Yasmin kind of, and Captain doesn't have any reason to not trust these people. So we see Yasmin kind of positioning herself, walking around, pretending she's looking at medals, or like the various awards that the captain has in her desk, as Eliza's having this conversation, trying to keep her preoccupied. We see Yasmin kind of pull out this dust, open up the end of it, put a little bit in her hand, and just walk up to the captain and just like shove it, like her hand over her mouth. And we see obviously the captain's like breathe in, and then you watch her eyes just kind of like separate. And we see Yasmin and Eliza just look at her. It's like, okay. And the captain's just kind of like staring out at them, like wide-eyed. They're like, can you hear us, Captain? And she just kind of nods along, like, good, perfect, okay. Well, we gotta let Slad know the new stuff works like he wanted. It looks like so they're kind of like, raise your left hand. You see her raise her left hand and whatnot. And so they're like, okay, Captain, you're gonna tell everybody that we need to go down to the ship. You're gonna tell them to get the supplies that we need for a day or two journey. And that we need everyone to go, because we don't know what's down there, and I think that's probably our best form of action. Okay? Cool? She kind of nods her hands, like, repeat what you're going to say to us back. Repeat what we just told you. Captain says it, and they're just like, okay. And they're kind of like looking at each other like, how much more of that stuff do you have? Yasmin's like, I mean, I got a decent amount left. I wouldn't say I have a whole ton. It's like, do you have, how much of the normal stuff? She's like, oh, I got a good amount. And Eliza's like, okay, cool, I do too. We'll get them on the ship. We start flying down. We're just going to surprise them all. We'll pump it through. I don't think we can pump it through the HVAC system and whatnot, but we're going to have to systematically, one by one, work our way through this thing, get them all knocked out and whatnot. And they're just like, okay, yeah, okay. We see them kind of leave the captain's office with the captain. We see the captain give the speech to the crew, and I think a couple of the crew members are kind of like, it's kind of a weird choice, but okay, like, you're the captain, we're not gonna disagree with you. And so we watch them all get suited up as you guys watched on the camera, so you're seeing all this play out. We see
Same
them,
thing that we saw before.
right? We're seeing them get onto the ship. We see them take off and fly down, and then we watch as Yasmin and Eliza just one by one work their way through rooms, and they're just like blowing the stuff in people's faces or just like surprising them any way they can, and getting this whole crew kind of just zonked out. And we see Yasmin take over the commands of the ship. She lands it on the ship, and like they're doing like a constant, like, so they don't like do a huge overdose on them at first. They're just like blowing it in their face, and like every once in a while coming back and doing it. So like they're going through quite a bit of their stock. And so we see the ship land. We see, like Yasmin get off. She's got her suit on, kind of come up, knock on the door. Get to wherever where the ship was landing, get to the thing. There might have been some communications that they texted. We see somebody open the door. We're assuming it's Slab, but you don't know. And the voice communicator comes through. It's like, all right, you got all the folks. Don't have to worry about anybody in this position they're in, right? They're not going to have anything. It's like, no, everyone's sedated. We should be good. It's like, all right, sounds good. We'll get them all in here. We'll put them in one of the rooms that we're not using currently, and go about that route. And he's just like, so what happened? Tell me what's going on here. And she's like, well, I was hoping that you could tell me this. Like, what's going on? He's like, I think one of the new guys we brought along, I think he decided to go back to the ship for something that he shouldn't have and didn't listen to us. And fucking new people doing it all right. We had everything going. It all takes one little fuck up. She's like, what's the plan now? She's like, I don't know. Well, we're gonna keep making what we gotta do, and then after that, we'll figure it out. And then we're gonna leave this crew here to freeze to death once everything catches in, or their life supports give out on their suits. That's my plan. You can do whatever you want with them. They're your crew, but you're more than welcome to come with us, because not going to be a whole lot of future for you if they're all dead. You can't go back to the ship with just you two, so think about it. Join us up if you want. If there's anybody there who you think might be sympathetic to our side, talk with them. But other than that, we're going to do business as normal. Is there anything else that we need to remember? Anything else that we need that might be a hiccup in this plan? And Yasmin and Eliza are just like, no, I think we're good. I think everything's... We got everything in order. I think we're going to be good. It's like, all right, sounds good. It's like, let's get them in. And you see this whole crew go out. They're dragging all these people in. They've got like electric pallet jacks, just piling bodies on, bringing them in, throwing them in just this one room that's just like constantly being pumped in with this. And we see the inside of this base now, for a better term. I don't know if it's a base, but you just see like all of this scientific equipment set up in spaces. Yeah, they're just like pumping out this drug. They're like bringing it in. They're synthesizing it. You got two people working over here, one person working over here. They're creating this stuff. They're packaging in it in little packages. They're putting all of this stuff in the boxes. They're crating them up. They're slapping these like fake stickers onto them. All these kind of things like that can show if they ever get pulled over. It looks like it's a serious kind of business.
This is candy for children.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, and I think we kind of close there with just one guy heading out, like sitting on the ship. Maybe he's just like taking a break, so he goes to their ship for whatever reason. Maybe he's just taking some personal time, and we see the comm unit come through with you guys talking to him, and him being kind of baked out of his mind. It's like, oh yeah, cool, man, and he picks it up to answer it for you guys. and then we fade back onto the Orcelian. Now, it's been, we'll say at this point, it's probably been like 4 or 5 days. You guys have gotten back. This is like whole interrogation has happened over a couple days. You guys have been brought in to give your story, kind of fill in the blanks for the captain and everything. I wanted to clarify one thing that we talked about early on in this show to make sure that we're all on the same page with it.
Okay.
There is faster than light travel. So there is the jump drives. They create like a little, they go through like a worm tunnel, creates a little bubble around the ship. So that's kind of how faster than light travel happens. There is no faster than light communication. So any sort of communications that need to go to travel are going to be put onto a ship and then sent, kind of thing. Like, so it has to go with that. So you can't just broadcast out. So that's like, think about it in the terms.
You can't broadcast? You can't broadcast?
No.
You can't send like
you
a
can
tight
within
beam?
within the system
like a
you're
radius.
in.
Yeah.
Like we can talk with the space station.
But you can
We could
send
talk with
like
we could talk with the Voyager, like on Mars. We can get signals from there. It's just delayed.
Right, exactly.
So there are delayed things, but
like you can send like a tight beam message, and it takes time to get there.
Yeah,
exactly.
But as we had discussed, there is no like consulate for the Prime Dominion where in this area, so you guys have to go into the next basically sector. So that's what you guys sent Willie to do. Just kind of take that there so that they could send that message further out and kind of follow the chain. But so think about it that way. And the second thing I kind of wanted to clarify here is we have Ortega and we have New Zanzibar. We need to figure out which is what. Is Ortega the planet and New Zanzibar is the city?
See, that's my understanding.
Okay, I want to make sure we're all on the same page there.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And they were kind of interchangeable to me because we only pretty much go to New Zanzibar.
That's why I wanted to make sure, because I need to build out Ortega more. So I need to know, is New Zanzibar going to be the name, or is Ortega going to be the name?
Yeah.
I thought of it as a complete wasteland, except for like there's one like Las Vegas, like a shining gem in the desert.
Yeah, I rolled the stats for it, and I got a population of, I think it was 10,000 to 90,000. So there's probably I think the maximum, I think I had 40,000 people living on here.
Yeah.
So there's probably just like one little outpost that goes.
Yeah.
That's so. But I got to make sure I did that right as I was rolling for everything.
I kind of picture the, in Final Fantasy VII, they have that like carnival place with all the like the chocobo racing.
Oh,
and, like,
Golden Saucer.
The Golden Saucer. That's how I picture it in my head, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
It's just like a nice little fun place where people can be delinquent if they want to.
Yeah.
It works, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like that, where'd they go on vacation in the Fifth Element?
Oh.
To the beautiful sunny Bamba.
I should know this.
You should. You have the tattoo.
I have the tattoo. I just haven't seen the movie.
Name 3 places from that movie, Meescha.
Yeah, Meescha hasn't really seen that movie.
Name every actor in that film.
She can't tell me what vacation Chris Rock was trying to get.
Lost in Paradise. The Lost in Paradise.
Thank you. Great job,
I had to think of Chris Tucker, like Lost in Paradise. And then, he was doing the radio show and everything. Okay.
I would have never known that. It's a good job.
Yeah, good job. Yeah.
So.
Sorry. I needed to be pressured. The pressure was on. Thank you.
That's what we did. It's like naming a ship.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. Like I just I want to make sure I have those hammered out. We had those kind of cleared up before we got into anything here. Because you brought up the point, like, how far does this go? So I started looking into it more. I'm like, I want to make sure I'm right on, like, there is. So I was like, oh no, there is fast and light travel. That makes sense with your jump drive. Yeah. But then there's no faster than light communication.
Right.
So like if you're trying to get your answer to another solar system, you basically have to like give it to somebody on a ship and shoot them. So it's like still kind of Wild West-esque. So like if you do something in a sector, you can potentially escape that news getting to the next sector if you're faster than it. And there are like certain lines of communication that can go through there, like travel paths almost.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know how big of a universe we're talking.
Yeah.
Right? Because
the travel universe is like massive.
Are we like leaving the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, that I completely understand.
Oh yeah, and that's why I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So like I think you guys are kind of on the edge of one into the other. So like I think to me, I'm imagining New Zanzibar, and Ortega are in like a whole other system, and that's why it takes you a week to get there through jump space.
I was looking through like the devices in the book because like my character's all about like communications and stuff. So I was like, oh, I should look at like some of the items that they have for communications. And like they didn't really like specify a lot of the like they had like radio transmissions, but then they were like it only works in short distances. But I was like, what's a short distance qualify as?
So I do, with that being said, I do also, something you just said, which is not something that I caught earlier, if you were trying to imply, Ortega is 7 days of jump travel away?
Yeah. It's a week in the jump to get there.
See, in my mind, I thought it was 7 days of...
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so it is jumps. Like, when you make a jump, you're essentially in there for like a 7 days.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's like it's...
You're in hyperspace.
Exactly.
You're traveling.
Well, here's another question. Does time move the same at that speed for us as it does out in the outside world?
Couldn't be. We got to have time debt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Chris, you got to calculate that.
I think that's what the bubble does. Is it doesn't. So I'll have to read more into that.
Maybe that's why it takes a week. It's instant for us, but a week for everyone else.
No, it's a week.
Okay,
you're just traveling faster with a bubble around you in the jump.
Toot needs to know how much she's aging in this bubble. That's what she needs to know how much old she is.
2 weeks per jump.
Oh my god!
I don't fucking know.
You age 2 weeks for every 1 week that you're in the jump.
It's just interstellar shit.
That's that was like kind of the cool thing reading Hyperion, where they're talking about like
all time debt
the time differences for everything. I'm like, this is really fucking wild.
How like you could come back to like the planet that you used to live on, and everybody's like 60 years older than they were, and you're like 15 years older.
He talked about that where it's like, oh yeah, well, like people live to like 120 now because of the difference in when they go. It's like, it's really interesting. So very cool book so far. I'm loving it.
I'm stoked to start that next.
That's good. Okay, so we cut back to the interior of the Orsellian. Everybody, the crew is obviously shaken a little bit. Everyone's not necessarily mistrusting of everybody, but I think it's like everyone's had a shared traumatic experience, so it's kind of tough for everybody to get back to like business as usual. Everyone is super like, no one has any hard feelings towards you. Like there's no mistrust towards you. Like anything, all are like
I have
higher standard
towards some of these people now.
Yeah.
To the extent that I usually have my laser carbine with me.
I don't think they would let that happen.
They're not going to stop me.
Does this drug have some sort of like withdrawal? Or are they?
This is kind of the reason why he doesn't know anything about this drug. He only knows that 2 people were hiding this stuff from us for 2 years.
Okay. Did you ask?
Well, you just cut ahead 5 days. So if we're just going to make stuff up like that, then yes. He does not trust these people, and I don't have any idea with the drug.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you would know, like, going through it all, there is really no... Like, they're probably sleepy for a little bit of time afterwards, dehydrated. Yeah. So they got to drink some juice and some
I would say,
OJ.
I think
replace some electrolytes.
I don't know.
I think,
as someone who hasn't done a ton of drugs, I don't know what a lot of the side effects are.
They're chewing on rubber bracelets.
Just put Vaseline on some more.
Toot failed the knowledge roll on this particular drug, so I don't think she would have a good
She does higher class drugs.
She does nice noble drugs, the stuff that...
Space cocaine.
Space cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like purified from like horse's hair on some planet and put through something. I don't know.
No, not horses. Unicorn.
Yes, true. Yes. That's true.
Unicorns exist on planet Epsilon D.
There we go. Epsilon D. Yeah. Unicorns. Write it up.
Yep.
Now we go in traditional unicorns where they turn into nightmares, or they just like
unicorns.
That's Psi Beta. Yeah, Psi Beta has the killer
unicorns.
Yeah.
Amber started making her own butter.
Like churning butter. Yeah.
No, she did, like, because it was cheaper to buy heavy whipping cream and make our own butter than to buy butter.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man,
it's really easy.
Yeah, you just put it in the mixer and you mix it, and then you like drain out all the buttermilk. Which this is how dumb of a person I am. I didn't know that's where buttermilk came from. I just thought buttermilk was like an amalgamation of words to describe what it was. I didn't know it was literal milk from butter.
Yeah.
So
making your own butter is great, but like when I did it by hand, like a plebeian.
Holy shit!
And so like I put it in like a little jar and like had a little crank on the jar, and then so it's like do it for a half hour. I know you're gonna think that nothing's happening, but do it for half an hour. So I was like, okay, internet, I'll trust you. And I get to a half hour. And I'm like, this isn't working. And then all of a sudden, it's just like resistance. And it's like suddenly butter. And I'm like, how did that fucking happen without me knowing?
So anyways, I started calling her trad wife, and she got very upset with me.
I don't blame her.
She got very, very, she's like, I was like, I'm joking. She's like, it's not funny. I'm like, true.
Okay.
But
Whoops.
So what other so I kind of want to take this time. I think there would be an if you wanted to interrogate, sit in with as a this 5-day period where they're interviewing and getting this information out.
Yeah.
So if you have other questions, I will be more than happy to answer them for you right now.
I would sit in with any interrogation of Eliza and Yasmin.
Give me a roll for that. I don't trust you.
Did they come back with us? I thought they stayed.
No, everyone came back.
We took them.
The goal was they left them there. They basically drugged them and threw them with the pile of groups, the sliding his men, and then they took off.
Part of the deal is Joe's basically like, hey, we want those 2 people. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. Sure, have them. And he drugged them up for us.
All right.
Because Slad cares about making his money. He doesn't care about many other things.
Sure.
But if we interrogate and then ask them, mostly what they want to know is really how long have they really been doing this? We said 2 years, but I want to know, is it longer? What are some of the, what are they getting out of it? And is there anybody else they know
who their
involved?
customers on the
Who their
show.
other connections are?
They've been doing it for the better part of 4 years.
Okay.
They met Slad approached them one time when they were on leave. They have one of his men gave him these drugs, and they were kind of loud at a bar talking about where they're at, and he's just like, oh, that might be able to make an opportunity here. Abandoned planet nobody fucks with. So they've been just hiding any occasional little sensor blips, or was this literally the first one? No. This is the first time a sensor blip has happened. Everything else has been pretty they've had it down to a science of he's just give us 2 hours, turn them back on kind of thing.
Right.
Gotcha.
So they had a 2-hour period to land and get everything, and then they had this sheen, this material that they had already bought that they knew could block it. They'd go down. Slad learned about it, started researching on all these things to do. He talked with Yasmin or Eliza about this because kind of going through hey, I've got this stuff, get me down there, give me 2 hours to get the base set up, at least some of this stuff up, and then we'll go from there.
Is there is this weird material? Is this something commonly known about?
No, you guys learned
this
that
is
it was
some rare thing.
It'd be tough to get. You'd have to. It's not a common occurrence thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're telling us that out of all the planets ever to be in any galaxy, he chose the one that's specifically being supervised from space?
Well, I think
it's close to where they're at.
And I
it's
think
a seven jump, and then there's nothing there. So he's like, cool, if I can get these people on board to help me cover up, no one's going to come looking there because it's fucking abandoned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't know, he might have other operatings on other planets. They don't know enough about his business. His thing was, this is an opportunity. I'm going to see if it works. So then if it doesn't, it doesn't kind of thing.
All right.
So I guess kind of the overall thing, they don't know anybody else but Slad.
Yeah, they were not. They don't even know who the other people there were.
Interesting.
They talked with him. He offered them a lot of money. You found the credits they had on hand. They have a bank account as well with
kind of I'm going to give you a bunch of money. All you got to do is look the other way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You make it so no one sees this, or you help cover up whatever's going on. We'll just keep making sure you get paid. That was their deal.
Like The Wire.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Like The Wire. Obviously, that one little instance fucked that up, and so now all of this has happened. But nobody on the ship has bought from them. They don't offer it to anybody on the ship because to them that's just going to be too.
You don't shit where you eat.
Exactly. Yeah. My buddy was a straight edge drug dealer. Best drug dealer there ever was. Okay. So yeah, you basically learn there was no other people on the ship involved with this. Just these two. Okay. They did it for money. You guys get money from the prime. This is good money though. This is they could retire the next 2 or 3 years from looking the other way. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they have quite a bit bunked up. You guys found the cred sticks in their room.
We did.
So that kind of thing where...
Did we?
Give me a stealth roll.
She probably would have done it before we even went down when everyone was getting ready to go into the ship and get down. She'd probably just be like, yeah, I just need to grab something from my room.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So we'll see if the cameras see you. Let me check here real quick. You're lucky.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6 there, but... yeah, so... essentially that their rooms got overturned, they went through everything, and they're being cooperative. They're not being standoffish. They know that they're got, and so they're just trying to fill in any questions you guys have had that the captain has, which I'm assuming Captain would have pretty similar questions to what you guys had, is being answered as truthfully as you're aware. If you want to give me some sort of roll to see if they're lying to you, if they're mutting you, go for it. But
Can I borrow some dice?
huh?
Can I borrow some dice?
Did you not bring dice again?
I brought dice, but not the cool traveler ones.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Here, just take, you can have the brown ones. Have the poop dice. Those are yours now.
Chris said you can just stack that on top. Don't worry about it.
just
Whoa.
What do you want me to roll?
I don't like
Two sixes.
You're trying to see if you believe them or not. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that would probably be a good use of the
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think I have any actual skills in anything that would make sense.
uh,
Use my leadership to tell if they're lying to me.
I would say maybe a persuade roll to see if they're lying, or streetwise. Streetwise might make sense too.
No, I didn't get streetwise.
Yeah, you dummy.
Yeah, or persuade.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Well, I rolled a 10.
That's really good.
But it's minus
3.
Minus 3? So I
Yeah,
rolled a
starting
five.
number. Yeah, so that's not gonna. Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, everything that they're saying to you,
Maybe I just don't necessarily believe them 100%.
sure,
But
and maybe that's your personal thing, but they haven't said anything to you that sticks out as like that. That doesn't make sense. Like their whole story is lining up with, like, being plausible. Whether you believe it or not, I don't get to tell your character how to feel that way.
Yeah.
But that is essentially what you're going through. And so, did anybody else have any other questions for them while we sit here?
I don't think Toot would care enough to do any interrogating whatsoever.
I wouldn't think so. Toots is trying to find them drugs.
I think she'd just be like in the cockpit. What's the driving section of a spaceship?
Cockpit.
Cockpit. She'd probably just be up there with like her feet on like some sort of like pedestal and just like kick it back and be like, okay, well that was stupid and everyone else is stupid and I don't really want to be here right now.
I guess I would have a question. I do have Streetwise 1. I don't know if it matters, but I would wonder, like, I would ask them if there's any reason why Slad would need to come back, or is he is there anything that he would need to come back for or cares about, such that like this station or that planet are continued in danger from his participation?
Good question.
That's a very good question. You see like Eliza look at you, and she's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know. What did they take? Did you guys check inside the base before you left? When you got us, you guys walked through.
They emptied it pretty well.
Exactly. She'd be like, then I don't think he's got a reason to go back. As for us, I mean, I think as soon as we get off the ship, he's probably going to try to kill us. That's just my belief, but I don't know. Like,
I mean, he could have killed you like before he left, so I don't think
he could have. You're right,
yeah.
and he didn't. But I mean, I don't think there's a threat there. I don't think he's going to come here. I mean, we got all the people here. I don't think it's an international incident at this point, coming and attacking the government. He doesn't want to be a terrorist versus
exactly
what he's done now. So, if anything, we have that shield, I would think.
Oh yeah, so we work essentially for like a large government.
We work for a large-
I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I guess something you would have done when we get back to the Orsalian is reach out to whatever legal policing body.
Yes, that was done by the captain. Yeah.
Okay.
So
The captain reached out, like sent a message,
I imagine we probably have samples of this drug somewhere.
You do.
Yeah.
if anything, I think she would. Well, we'll get there. What were you gonna say, Jake?
this is something that I doubt has been like ironed out. Maybe you have. What is the larger intergalactic police force? Is it the Prime Dominion essentially has authority over what they look over?
Yeah. So the Prime Dominion is like they're the overarching branch for the entire solar galaxy.
They probably
and then they have
a legal system.
Yes, there's a legal system there. There are they have like what's the word that when you have a consulate in various sectors, like each sector has like a consulate that is in charge of that area. So there's not necessarily like there might be people who are put in by the Prime Directive to be like leaders on planets, but everybody answers back to the consulate for that sector.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, so it's kind of like Prime up top is the Prime Dominion. Underneath that are these consulates on each of the sectors. Underneath that are going to be the various heads of states for planets and whatnot, and they're, and whoever they've deemed.
Okay, cool.
So a lot of it there is, I don't know how democratic it is in that sense. I think the consulates have much more control over who is in charge of planets, but they ultimately someone on your planet answers to us. You guys figure out who it is, kind of like a UN kind of style.
Would that be like a bureaucracy?
I think it's like a
where
bureaucracy.
they just like decide who
Yeah,
it
it's not
is?
like a there's no like kings or fief. Well, each planet could have a king or a fiefdom, but eventually they feed up to that level.
Oh.
So
I have another question.
you could.
Yeah,
Leaves
yeah.
it open. What you got?
Another question for the two of them. Do they know if Slad was a part of any crime syndicate of any kind?
They are not aware of that. They assume he is because of the, what he was making and the whatnot. He never really talked a whole lot of business with them about that end.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was mainly just like he approached them, was just like, hey, this abandoned planet, tell me about it. Like, because they're talking, I imagine the scene, they're talking in like a bar, probably buying some other drugs from somebody and talking about where they're like, oh, we just got back from shore leave from here. And one of them's just like, oh, what's that? And then found out a bunch of information, and they go back to Slad, and he's like, oh, let's see if we can get him on our side and that kind of thing.
I guess with my street wiseness, can I at least know what crime syndicates are prevalent or would be in the selling of drugs like this?
Yeah, give me a streetwise roll. How long have you been? You've been out here for a couple of years.
2 years, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it's the DR10. You've been out of the game
Okay.
for a little bit. You might not necessarily be plugged into the avenues that you were.
Out in these streets.
These mean streets of Orsellian.
Okay, and then this would be what? Let's see, intellect, education, or social?
I'd say probably social would make the most sense here.
Probably.
I thought streetwise is always a social. I might be wrong.
That makes more
I
sense.
think it is, yeah.
Cool. Well, then I fail. No.
Okay.
I have an 8. Well, so it's a 9. One less than I need.
Do you want to use a luck point? You got luck.
And we can't get those back, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
Gone
I don't
forever.
think. I mean, just knowing what the I don't think I have a reason to really care that much. I was just
fine.
kind of curious. So
Yeah, there are a lot of like crime syndicates. So he could be number one. Any of them.
yeah, cool.
I'm so sorry. I wish Toot would like care enough to ask any questions to help with
That's
this
fine.
if it's social, because like she does have like coerce and stuff and persuade, but I'm like she won't care enough
That's all good.
to ask. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna make her care. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I think I think that's kind of like the 5-day period here. We see like these interrogations being sat in. Different people are brought in to sit down and talk to them if they have questions. And I think at the end of the day, we see the captain call you guys in. Not no one else from the ship, but call you guys in. And she's like, "Well, we owe you guys a grit of datitude." That's not how you say that. A grit of datitude. I'm just gonna let that be. That is that's
Can we put that on the
special one.
T-shirt now? Like,
yeah,
that's part
grit of datitude.
local
I'm gonna make sure I
slang.
write that down.
They speak selective Pig Latin here on this sector.
Day of attitude, Greg.
Yeah.
regrets.
Axe day.
Yeah.
At day.
We were learning that for the first
So
time. I thought it was so
stupid.
cool.
Yeah. You're like, whoa, it's a code, and then you're like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
That's my life. Yeah. So hold on. Yeah. So she calls you guys into the office, and again, it's just you four. She's asks you to sit down, offers you a drink if you want one, a smoke, kind of like the last time, but this time it's all four of you. And she's like, "Well, we owe you a debt of gratitude." Got that right. And
You got that right.
you guys saved us down there, and we owe you that. And I don't know what's going to come of this station now with a security breach this bad and everything that's going on. We got to get this information to the Prime the Prime Dominion, the consulate. I know you already sent Willie, I believe, to get this information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he,
Did
before
he have
anything
enough
went down,
sandwiches?
so we don't know. He doesn't know much. We do have to follow up with more complete information.
That's fine. Willie he'll know what to do. He's a pretty smart guy. You just cut the Willie on the ship, just blasting Freebird.
Yeah.
Eating a sandwich.
He's like,
He's
what was I
like-
doing again?
He's like single person moshing to Ace of Spades.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He just makes me think of. I know you don't super like Guardians of the Galaxy 2,
It's fine.
but one of my favorite, like I think of Willie kind of like in this situation towards the end when they're getting chased by all the
Ravagers?
Nah, not the Ravagers, but the gold skin people.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
it,
yeah.
And it cuts to Kraglin on the Ravager ship, and he's listening to a song eating soup, just going soup. That's kind of what I imagine Willie, just like chilling,
Yeah,
eating a sandwich, listening to some music.
He's got a cush-ass job. He flies a ship here and back. That's all he does.
Easy.
Like, I just kind of, I picture Willie as like this burnout, like Hesher guy. That's just like, he's totally fine in his life. He doesn't need anything more. Like, he's got a steady income. He goes back, probably buys some, space heroin, shoots up enough not to be crazy. Just to have a good time.
Space long haul trucker.
Yeah, I honestly kind of built him around this guy I used to work with when I worked with my dad's company building, what were they called? Coinstar machines. And he was this guy named Randy. And anytime he would hear a different song come on, he had a different response to it. So he'd be like, Led Zeppelin, time to rock. And he would just start dancing until the Led Zeppelin song was over. And then like Aerosmith would come on. It's like, Aerosmith, time to nap. And he would straight up lay on the ground until the Aerosmith song was over.
All right, we need that kind of energy.
So that's how I kind of imagine Willie. But my favorite thing about Randy was he was friends with the guy who ran the department. Like, that's how he got a job there.
Of course.
And this guy was like the most straight cut, like fucking, what's like Frank Grimes, like from The Simpsons, like clean cut, glasses, like shaven, like prototypical business motherfucker, like kind of guy. And I remember talking with him. I was like, how did you meet Randy? He's like, I just worked him on a job one time. We started hanging out. He's a pretty cool guy. He's like, we used to go watch Guar on acid and shit like that. I was like, what? Like that? He's
What
like,
a
oh, yeah,
nightmare.
Guar.
Guar's great on acid.
Could you imagine how scary that'd be?
Right.
My
so
goodness.
Randy's
Might be
that
kinda
guy.
fun.
Randy's that guy. Randy's just this weird. Yeah, that's how. So every time I imagine Willie, I just picture Randy just on there, just like, blah, 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 time to rap. And he just starts dancing on his ship to himself. Whatever space future rock music is.
Yep.
So,
Damn.
And you.
yeah. So we see the captain. She's kind of telling, like, obviously you guys would tell her that you probably sent Willie ahead of you.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, I understand that. But we need an official report sent out, and we need to understand what's going to happen here. It's been 5 days. We've, essentially, I want you all to take Yasmin and Eliza to the consulate in the next system for the Prime Dominion to explain to them everything that's going on here. So then they can send whatever they have here to do their full investigation. We need to let them know. And then we'll await further clarification of what the future is there. But you know what happened in the time frame behind that, and they know what happened in the time frame while you weren't there. So I think you would be the best party to talk with these bureaucrats, especially Toots. Your bureaucratic leaning, I think, would shine here.
So Toots like leaning against the wall towards like the exit door, and she's just like chewing her gum really loud. Like she's just mewing and chewing her gum. Like you could just see the jaw muscle like pulsing in and out. And
Straight
she's just,
muntin'.
She's
and she has like she's got like one arm out of the spacesuit, and then she's like crossing him, and she's just like, I don't understand why we have to do extra work. We just saved all your asses.
So consider this an extended vacation. And then once you get there, depending on what they tell you, you might have more vacation. I'm not quite sure. But I'm giving you an order. I need you to go do this. That is why you're going to go do this. You know what happened. You'll be the best people to talk about the events leading up or after this happened. And these two should hopefully tell the truth about what happened on the way there. And that's why I'm sending you all. You are...
And she kind of like stops and thinks like a little bit, and she's like, paid vacation?
Yes, you will make sure you are paid.
And she like stops and she like slowly nods her head, and she's like, okay.
You don't have to be here while you are at the consulate. You are free to roam the city, do whatever you want. You are not stuck here within the confines of this station. So I felt that might be a better situation for doing this than sticking here and thinking and plotting and whatnot.
I just like slap Toot on the back and be like, you know what they say, if you don't want to do something, don't do it well.
Don't cut yourself. She's way too muscular.
Yeah. My entire hand is bleeding.
Just broken, just bones.
I'm just like hiding it like
She's like, that sound okay with all of you?
Sounds good, Captain. Don't worry. We'll handle it.
Pack up everything you have, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen to this station after this. So I think it'd be best that you have whatever you brought here and take it with you to be safe.
So, kind of out of character question, real quick. So we're monitoring a planet where the weird fog came through.
It's like a whole system, yeah.
Whole system. That's happened to other places.
Yes.
Right? Are there other monitoring stations
Yes.
on those? Okay.
Yes.
Then I would ask the captain, do you have any contact with other monitoring stations?
She's like, I don't have any particularly, but if we talk with I'm sure the consulate is going to
Right,
reassign everybody here.
We'll probably need to check every one of those planets. I mean, it makes sense. If he was down here because he knew it'd be abandoned.
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
probably people
No,
on other crews.
this is going to be a bigger news to the Prime Dominion than we could ever expect. That's why
We'll get the word out.
I don't expect the station to be fully operational in the capacity that it's meant to be for quite a while. After the investigation's going to come, we're just going to make sure we have everything ready for them for whenever they come here to take a look. But that begins with you getting this message to them, and that's what I need you guys to do right now. And she kind of shakes all your hands like, it's been a pleasure working with you. This is the last I see you, but I'm sure they'll let me know on the way back what's going to happen, whether you're delivering the message or someone else, but I thank you guys for rescuing us. And then she gives you all a magic item. No, I'm just
Oh,
It's like
Tech level.
you
twins.
leveled up. Yeah.
I'll shake her hand and tell her it's been a pleasure serving you, Captain.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And then we see you guys packing up your gear. It's probably some of you a little bit bummed. Some of you probably pretty stoked to get out of here. You get everything on, packed up. Whose ship are you taking? I don't know why I popped that P so hard, but I wanted to. Are we going on the ship of Cody?
well, mine's still locked up.
Yours
so.
is still locked up, but you're going to take... Yeah, so I think Cody's ship is the only one that's going to be able to go here, right?
Yeah, Cascade,
Cascade Andromeda?
Cascade Andromeda is ready for takeoff.
Do any of us have J drive as a skill? Jump drive?
I
That's a
don't
good question.
I don't think so.
For engineer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
specifically
not.
J drive.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just the face.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up jump travel.
Yeah. It's going to take a little bit. So...
I mean, a pilot. I know how to work my ship. I don't know how to fix my jump drive if it breaks. So how about that?
That works.
Can we just hit the console with a wrench?
Then you gotta make a jump drive roll. See if you go off course or anything like that.
You have to do a task chain, specifically astrogation and then
Whoa.
J drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who's got astrogation?
I have astrogation. You have astrogation as
That's
well?
pretty dope.
Yeah, we should
I do
trade
too.
off for
Actually.
jump
I
drive.
weirdly do. I don't know why I
think
did that.
It must have been like the group skill or something that we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Can
one of you
we
needs J drive.
Can we hire a jump drive
Well,
mechanic?
I think we can still use it.
This is just if it
Oh.
goes
Just
wrong.
at a
Does
no bonus. I
Brent
think.
know how to do that?
Well, if you have one electronics, can you do with the rest of them at zero, or is it?
No, you have a 0 in electronics
Ooh.
or whatever
Or
it be.
engineer, I guess.
Engineer, yeah. So you'd have a -3 to do in a jump drive.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
we gotta wait for Willie.
So
Oh, I thought that when you have 0 in the main skill.
Yeah, I thought you could do the rest underneath it.
you have access to them, but you're still going to be negative because you don't have any points in it.
So you go from
so-
-3 in jump drive to +1 if you put a point in it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And that's why
That's weird.
Jack of all trades is so awesome, because you don't get that -3. You
Oh.
get whatever your Jack of all trades
Wow.
is. Yeah, which if that's 0, it's still a huge jump.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh no, yep. So if they have 0, engineer 0 allows them to make engineering skill checks without the unchecked skill penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can. What page is that on?
It's on page 58. So yeah, you have a 0.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just making sure we got it right here.
I can get that program, the engineering J drive program, but I don't currently have the.
So, like in the Matrix, like you now know kung fu. You now
exactly.
know
Oh yeah,
karate.
yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I can make J drive checks at 0, but I can make power plant checks at 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay.
Oh, you have engineering at 0.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Well, Cody, give us this pilot check as we get this ship
Yeah.
going.
Is
You
this
guys
a-
have a room with these 2 locked in it. You have 2 You have 2 prisoners essentially on this ship.
Cody wants them in the presidential suite.
Yes. Yes.
and locked in
I
a
treat-
nice plush room.
Exactly.
true.
I subscribe to that like model of prisoner of war. You know, like treat them well, and then they'll talk. You know. So we're doing a task chain. Does it start
you're,
with something?
that's to
Oh.
jump.
Oh, okay.
Right now, you're just flying out to get into the space where you can make this
Yeah,
jump.
you need to be 100. Oh, what is it? Says it's 100 diameters distant from any object larger than the ship. So we have to
Oh, wow.
go way away from planets in order to activate the jump.
That
drive.
feels like we're playing Elite Dangerous, and I really like that.
That game fucking rules.
Yeah.
Never played it.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
If I won the lottery, I would build like a, you know how those guys have like the trucker sim setups. I'd build that spaceship and just play Elite Dangerous for.
There would be
What about
signs that you won the
what about Star
lottery.
Citizen? You ever get on that?
No, I don't have anything that can run
That's
it.
so much money. My buddy bought like whatever the first Kickstarter was, and it's just like stupid.
It seems cool though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do it really well. Smoothest thing you've ever seen. 14.
perfect.
Ooh.
There we go. So you get this ship out. You guys are piloting further out, and now we're going to start our task chain. So who's going to be doing the astrogation roll to plot your course to get out of here?
Supposedly it's an easy one.
Yeah, it's just a 4+.
I can do it if
It's
nobody
going to
else
take
wants to.
you. Let me see my dash on here. It's going to take you 40 minutes to get everything lined up here, get everything plugged in.
It says we can be doing it while we're going out that distance.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So-
Yeah, that's cool.
So you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Sure, I got it. I'm probably going to add my education.
Okay, you guys are only jumping 1 parsec here, so I think that a parsec is. I think that's how long you spend in there.
Yeah,
For the
jump
jump.
travel goes by parsecs.
Yeah, but I think 1 parsec is essentially like a couple days. Let me see here.
I think that's correct.
The fact that he did the
Oh,
Kessel
wait
run
a
in
minute.
12 parsecs is crazy.
Check this out, Chris. Regardless of how far the ship jumps, it always stays in jump space for roughly 1 week.
There you go.
Yeah.
So no matter where we go, it's about a
Always
week
a
of jump
week.
space.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay.
That's-
It's
really
technically
interesting.
148 plus 6D hours. So
Okay, so we're going to. So I got because you have a DM minus how many parsecs away we're going. So I got to remember how far.
And you
the
can
par-
hear the hum of the J drive kind of just
yeah,
initializing.
Chris, it's on page 157. It's astrogation
sound.
check modified by the jump distance. A jump covering 4 parsecs gives a DM -4.
Yeah, I'm just
So
trying
1
to.
parsec is just -1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many parsecs it would be. You know, we're going to start with 1 just to be safe, and then I'll do more research into it when we're going to do it again. So you're going to have a DM -1 to this, but it is a 4. So it's going to be with education here. So astrogation plus education.
Okay. I got it.
Okay. Well, how good did you roll? Because it's task chain. So you
Oh,
could
okay.
pass benefits on to him.
Okay. So if I have a total +1, I rolled a 7.
Okay. So that's going to be a +2, +3, I believe.
Is it a +3? Where's the?
I think it's everyone over the.
Because he was because if the target's 4,
Yeah.
and this is a 3 above that.
Yeah, if I would have hit 4, then it would have been a +1.
Succeeded with an effect of 1 to 5. So +2 to your roll here.
Plus
J
2?
jumper. Yeah. +2.
Okay.
So this
So I-
one is a
It's the same.
same 4. Okay, let me see how long this is going to take you to get this spooled up. That is going to be it takes you 30 minutes. Once he gets that all set, you start getting the jump drive plugged in. You know, running everything you need.
Okay.
The jump drive has not been maintained. I'm going to say probably not.
Oh, no.
I don't think, yeah. So that's going to be per 1 DM minus per month behind maintenance.
Yeah, whose ship are we taking?
Taking Cody's.
I mean, we don't have another ship, really. I mean, I guess we could use the
How far behind maintenance are you on your ship?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if we know, because, like, I had a bunch of, like, disadvantages or whatever.
We're going to go with, we'll say it's 2 months.
Because, I mean, I
think that's
wrote
safe.
down all of the disadvantages.
What are the
but
disadvantages?
It was, like, 25% mortgage, double maintenance costs, I think. Blacklisted.
Oh, that's right.
He didn't pay for tabs.
Yeah. -1 to list. I don't know what this word is. -1 to something.
Okay. Odds 1 month, evens 2 months. Here we go. I rolled an evens, so 2 months. So 2 months behind, so you have a -2 to this roll.
But I have +1 from him, so basically
You have a
my-
+2 from him, a
Oh,
-2
+2.
from the DM, so those cancel each other out.
Okay,
roll a
so this is
4.
just a flat roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to roll a 4.
Okay. So as I
If you fail, our jump drive just
Zander
explodes.
settles it, like waits till he gets the astrogation
We get
chart plotted.
Yeah, we get trapped in hyperspace if
Goes-
this fails.
All right, folks, it's been a while since I did this. Hold on to your butts. That is a 6.
Oh,
Yeah, a 5 and a 1.
that equals 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way to math.
Wait a minute.
Well, the 5 was really far away, and you gave me the poop dice. So hard to read.
That's why I gave them to you. Because you're pooping, you keep forgetting your dice.
You're welcome.
I do see the 1
Yeah.
first, and I was like, oh god.
Sorry for giving you dice. My bad. Shit.
Thanks, man.
We watch as you guys pilot the ship out. You see everything kind of getting spun up. We see the ship kind of accelerate. It hits through this jump stream. The bubble forms around the ship. And you guys have a week until you get to your destination.
Can it make like a as soon as it like actually does the jump?
Absolutely.
Or is it like maybe like when you step on those rubber chickens? It's like like can it do that?
Absolutely.
What about a Slurpee flute?
That's,
Ooh, woo.
well, there's no noise in space, so none of those happen.
Got it. We hear it from inside, maybe.
I kind of picture like everyone taking shifts to watch the prisoners and stuff, and when it's Toots' turn, she just like takes like ball bearings or BBs and just like flicks them at him, like just plays football but with their faces and these ball bearings.
Damn,
damn.
Shit, damn, that's
Brutal.
hardcore. Yeah.
Hey, you got a problem with how I treat prisoners?
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll see what happens on this flight next week. How's everyone doing?
Boof.
Good. How are you doing?
Stop thinking about what munting could be.
It came up before the episode.
Honestly, I don't know either, but I'm like, which hole would that be?
No.
What could it be?
It's universal.
Which hole?
Universal.
Yeah.
I feel like it has something to do with the eyeballs.
We're not. I'm gonna leave it theater of the mind and imagination on what munting is.
Because like, if I asked ChatGPT what munting is, would it give me?
It would know.
This is why we shouldn't have AI.
Can Slad be a part of the nitrous mafia who just goes to, Tyler knows, who just goes to fish concerts and
Oh
strong
my
arms
God. I love
people in fish parking lots for
Yeah, let's do
nitrous?
it. Nitrous Mafia. Boom. That's the name of the group.
Nitrous and fish, man. Name a better duo.
Yeah. Apparently
Literally
there's
anything else.
apparently there's like a whole underground like syndicate of people who control the nitrous movement at like the fish
What?
concert
Oh my
scene.
God.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah,
surprise me. It's
That-
fish, man.
yeah, right.
I was wondering where they're all getting.
Tyler,
their
where do you
fucking
get
nitrous
your
from.
where their
where do you get your
drugs,
nitrous when you
there's
go
people
to fish?
You know, I can't say I've ever done nitrous at a fish show.
Don't fucking lie to us.
Back then, it was a lot of weed. It was a cleaner scene when I went.
A lot of munting.
Yeah, a lot of mewing and munting.
It could mean the worst thing on planet
it is.
Earth.
Oh, no,
and
it
I
is.
keep laughing at it.
No,
It's
it is
so
really
just
bad. Well,
the
that's
word.
it's actually
Tyler,
Google
don't do it.
dot-
Tyler,
there's a lot of questions.
I won't tell you.
It's one of those things where like the definition that people think it is that's really bad. Like there's a question of like, is it actually that, or is that just some like meme?
I
that
guess we
someone
should
made up?
clarify.
Okay.
It's not.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
racist or anything,
Yeah,
right?
awful.
Yeah, awful. It's awful. Dude.
There's no like. There's no racism or sexism
No,
tied
no,
to
no,
munting.
no,
Okay.
It's just really bad. It's like it's not
Yeah.
problematic. It's just
should
terrible.
we still be using that word on the show?
Oh, I mean, it's already we're past that gate at this point.
Yeah.
So I guess
None of us will see the light of heaven.
yeah, every day.
Well,
we
it's not
move
real,
further.
so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.